What if achieving your goals was 10 times easier? What if achieving your goals was 10 times more enjoyable? What if achieving your goals made you 10 times the money? This is the question that will change your life. And when you approach goals and goal setting in the right way, most people don't, but when you do in the right way, you'll get there so much faster. You'll make so much more money and you'll enjoy it so much more. So this question, what if it was 10 times easier? What if this was 10 times more enjoyable? What if I made 10 times the money? You see, most people get stuck on the little things, and this is why they don't achieve as much as they could. Because we have limitless power. It's just incredible what we can do. But what happens is most people get stuck, or they hit a roadblock, or they hit resistance. There's something that prevents them from going forward to stepping through and getting that big success. When we set goals, when we set big goals, and you should always be setting big, bold, audacious, life-changing goals. But when we set these big goals, there's so much uncertainty because we don't have any previous experience that lets us know, oh yeah, I can do this. I've done this before. I can do it again. Or I can do it better. I can do it bigger. If we don't have these experiences, we don't have this proof that we can succeed, things will happen, like doubt will creep in. Other people's negative comments will make you wonder, can I really do this? And you'll start saying to yourself, is this even possible? Will I succeed? Will I fail? Will I make a fool out of myself? Will I have to start over? And other people will say things like, I knew somebody who's failed at that. They tried it and they wanted it so bad, but yet they failed. Instead of telling you the story about, hey, I knew a guy who did that and he made millions of dollars doing it. Or, hey, I knew that lady who left her corporate job. She's working half the time and she's making double the money. And so now she could be home with her kids and doing all the things she loves to do. These are the stories you need to hear and be filling your mind with when you set these big, audacious goals. Because it's not the big things that will prevent you from achieving your goals. It's the little things. It's the doubt. It's the resistance. It's the comments from other people that will prevent you from getting there. It's like when you're running. I go running a lot. So when I go running, and if I have a pebble in my shoe, it will stop me from running. It's not the big boulder or the rock or the pothole that I have to jump over. It's the pebble in my shoe. Other people's comments, that's the pebble. The thoughts of doubt and resistance, your mind, that's the pebbles. And the pebbles, what's going to stop you. It's what's going to irritate you. It's what's going to drive you crazy. And it's what's going to make you have a reason to give up. But when you can push through the doubts, through the fears, through the resistance, ignore other people's negative and toxic, cynical comments, that's when you'll be able to achieve so much more. When you have enough self-discipline, enough self-confidence, enough self-motivation, you have enough self-mastery, then these doubts, they may be there, but you'll just keep working past them. And so that's what it's about. It's about building your self-discipline, building your self-worth, building your self-confidence, building your self-mastery so that when you hit this resistance, when you hit these challenges, these roadblocks, when you have these doubts, when you hear other people's cynicism and critics and silly stories that they tell you, you can just simply push through them and you can keep making progress. Achieving what goal would make your life amazing? What goals would transform your life? Who is it that you want to be? These are the questions you should be asking yourself to create a life that you truly want to live, to create a life that you truly love, that's enjoyable, that you're excited to wake up every morning saying, wow, this is really my life. You also have to ask yourself, why am I not living these goals? Why am I not living these dreams? Why isn't this my life? And find the answers to where your resistance is. Find the answers to where your doubts are. Find the answers to what's making you procrastinate, what's keeping you from taking bold action, what's keeping you stuck where you are. When you start to ask yourself these questions, then you'll start to uncover the problems in your life. You'll start to uncover the doubts and the fears and the things that are keeping you from taking bold action and moving forward. And so it's like having that pebble in your shoe. It's going to prevent you from running the marathon. It's going to prevent you from crossing the finish line. It's going to prevent you from finishing the race. What are the pebbles that are keeping you from the life that you want, the big goals that you want, the things that are going to transform your life, the things that are going to make your life amazing? What is that resistance? What is the challenge? What is the problem? What are the fears? That's going to change your life when you start to look inside and go to self-mastery to figure out how do you get past these things, because most of them, as you know, they're self-inflicted. Most of them are irrational. Well, they're not irrational in the sense that you have them because we're human, but when you dissect it and you think about it logically, it's like, oh, that's a silly reason that's preventing me. That's why am I letting that tiny little pebble in my shoe stop me from running the marathon? And so we'll let things like what other people think about us stop us from taking these big steps forward towards the life we want. We'll let the doubt of, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I young enough? Am I old enough? Whatever it is, we'll let these little things that they really don't make much sense to stop us, but yet that's part of the human experience we have, and it prevents us from living the life that we could be living. The big challenge that we face, that all of us face, is that we can't see our blind spots so well. We don't really know what's creating the resistance, what's creating the doubts, what's creating the challenges, what's making us procrastinate. We don't really see these things that are keeping us from living the life that we could be living, to be living in our own power, to really owning our greatness and creating the life that we really want to live by accomplishing these big goals that we know intellectually we could, but yet we don't seem to be able to do it. And so when we can't see our own blind spots, when we don't know what the resistance is, when we don't know where the doubts are coming from, we're gonna stay stuck. We're not gonna be able to move and take those big actions. And it's easier to see this in other people. You see this in your friends, you're like, wow, this guy could be doing so much more, or she could be doing so much more, and yet they're not. You can see it from the outside, but yet it's hard for that person to see it in themselves and move past that. Just like it's hard for you to see it in yourself and move past that. So what happens? We stay stuck. We do things that feel comfortable, and we don't stretch too far out of our comfort zone. We don't push too hard. We don't build up enough self-discipline or enough self-motivation or enough self-mastery to be able to take charge and control of our life the way we should and we could, so that we could achieve the bigger things and live the life that we really want to live. For example, Chris from Arizona, he's a tech CEO, and he wanted to dial back his work hours because he was working crazy amounts of hours, but he also wanted to keep growing his company. He wanted to keep improving the profits and the revenue of his company. So when he came to me, he wanted to make more money but work less, but what was really going on in the background, what he was being blindsided by, what he couldn't see, that pebble in his shoe, was the things that was going on in his personal life. So he came to me for business reasons, but what he didn't realize in his blind spot, that pebble in his shoe, was his personal life. He wasn't giving the weight of the personal challenges he was having that was affecting him in his business. So he was going through a divorce, and there were some other things going on in his personal life that was affecting him, was affecting his focus, affecting his discipline, affecting his productivity, affecting his decision making, was affecting everything. But yet he wasn't giving that the credibility it deserves, and he wasn't processing it. He didn't have the right positioning or framing on what was going on in his personal life. So when we went through a couple of these processes, all of a sudden he had this new empowering perspective of what was going on in his personal life instead of disempowering. And then he started to make more money, dial back his work hours, and within 6 months, he's working like 30-40% less, but yet his company profits and revenue kept going up and up and up. And a couple of years later, he's working even less, going on more vacations. He's living an incredible life, traveling all over the place, hiking and skiing and doing all these amazing things. And yet his business is still growing and needs less of his time, and is making more profit, and he's making more money than he ever has in his life. Why was that? Because I helped him see what was in his blind spot. We dealt with it, we made it empowering, and then he went on from there. And so everything changes. So how do you achieve those big goals in your life? How do you create those transformational goals that's going to make your life truly amazing? But it always comes back to this one idea, that we can't see the blind spots. We can't feel the pebble in our shoe. So with that pebble in your shoe, it's going to be way harder, way slower, way more annoying and agitating to try to achieve those goals. We're not going to be able to push through as easily if we have the pebble in the shoe, or if we have these blind spots that we can't see what's holding us back. And if you talk to any successful person, most all of them will say that they've worked with business coaches or transformation coaches or life coaches, spiritual coaches, weight coaches, or whatever. Most successful people have worked with many coaches throughout the course of their life, and that's why they're successful. But the other person who hires a life coach or a transformational coach are people they're succeeding, but they're just not getting to where they want to go. And so they realize they can't do it on their own. And they're like, well, I need to get help from someone. I need somebody who can push me further than I'm pushing myself. I need someone that can help me see my blind spots. I need someone who's going to like really give me a good perspective and help me look in the mirror the way I need to be able to succeed. Now, most people don't do this kind of stuff, but most people don't have the kind of incredible life, making the kind of money and living the kind of lifestyle that you want to. You can also look at it this way. Imagine running through sand, deep, soft sand, and you got these big, heavy boots on. How hard or how easy is it going to be to run through this deep sand with these boots on? It's going to be very hard. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be slow. It's going to be monotonous. And you're going to get tired out very, very quick. So you're not going to make a lot of distance. You're not going to achieve very much. Now imagine you move out of the deep sand and you move onto the blacktop and you have those fancy shoes on, but then you have a coach. You have somebody telling you how to run, how to breathe, how to use your muscles, how to get stronger, how to go faster. So not only you're in the best environment, but you're also having a coach or a mentor that's helping you succeed. That's how I succeeded in my run across America. I didn't just decide to run, well, actually I did decide to run across America, but I didn't just decide to do it and do it on my own. I got a coach. I got a coach who taught me the difference between running one marathon, which most people take months, sometimes years to run one. And I ended up running one a day because he taught me a different method, a different way to run a marathon a day for 100 consecutive days. So I ran from California to New York, running a marathon a day, 26-mile marathon a day for 100 consecutive days. I could not have done that with the same strategies that a person uses for one marathon. It's a totally different game. It's a totally different strategy, totally different method. And so he was monumental in helping me succeed in my run across America. I also gave a speech every day to different at-risk audiences, groups in transition and needing motivation and inspiration. So Hope for the Warriors, addiction centers, halfway houses, things like that. People who are needing of some motivation, inspiration to rise above their circumstances and to create a life that's worth living. And so when I was learning to become a public speaker, professional speaker, I didn't just try to do it on my own. I had lots of coaches helping me, different coaches. Some helped me on sound, some helped me on my voice, some helped me on my hand gestures, helped me on different things so that I could become an effective, really great public speaker. And so having coaches, having mentors, having people to guide you along your way is totally natural and normal. And you may not ever want to run a marathon or 100 marathons. You may not even want to run across the street. But what if you applied that same self-discipline mentality and strategies that I learned in running a marathon a day, not only running a marathon a day, but training to get to the start line of a marathon a day. And then a year later, I broke the world record running through the hottest desert on the planet, 146 miles nonstop. So what if you took those same strategies and you applied them to your life for self-discipline, for self-confidence, for self-motivation, for self-mastery? What if you went through the process with me where I helped you recalibrate your mind, help you reprogram your mind so that you could achieve these big goals, so that when somebody else tells you it's not possible, you're just like, yeah, whatever. When you have your own doubts that creep into your mind saying, you know, this is too hard, it's too much work, I'm not smart enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not whatever. When you have these doubts that creep into your mind, what if you could be like, oh, you know, I get it, but I'm not going to listen to you. And you just keep making progress. You keep moving forward. That's what happens when we work together. And I'm going to help you see your blind spots, overcome them, overcome the resistance, overcome the procrastination, overcome the self-doubt so that you can succeed faster. Because that's what successful people do. They have other people help them get out of their own way so that they succeed more, so that they can make more money. So for example, if you're making $5,000 a month, but you want to make 10 and you haven't been able to figure that out yet, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep banging your head against the wall and doing the same thing over and over and over until you make $10,000? No, because you're probably not going to get there. Not easily, not fast. But what if you had someone else saying, hey, have you done this? Have you thought about this? Or what's holding you back? What if we fix this problem? What if we recalibrated your mind and you made all of these adjustments? Can you do it on your own? Yeah, maybe. But it's going to be harder and it's going to be more difficult and it's going to be kind of a lonely journey. But what if you're working with somebody? What if you had a mentor that was in your corner to encourage you, to motivate you, to push you, to help you look in the mirror, to help you find your blind spots and challenges, the pebbles in your shoe? What if you were working with somebody like that? How much faster would you get to your goals? Someone who's going to diagnose what's your resistance and your challenges and the things that are preventing you from taking the bold action that you want to take to live the life that you want to live, to be the person that you want to live. So when you have somebody that's dissecting or diagnosing what's going on in your life and saying, hey, have you thought about this? Or, I've noticed this about you. Why is this happening? You're going to go so much faster, so much better, and you're going to succeed so much more. So instead of making $5,000 a month, you're going to go right to 10. You might even go to 15, 20, 30. Who knows where it is? It depends on your business and your circumstances, but you're going to get to those goals faster and better than if you did them on your own. Well, what if you have the whole money thing figured out and yet you don't have a great personal life, or your health and fitness is suffering? Well, how do you change that? What if you had somebody helping you to build your self-discipline, build your self-determination, build your self-motivation, build your self-worth and your confidence, so that you do the things that you need to do to be able to make the decisions that you need to make to be able to get that fit body that you want, be able to transform your personal life and to do whatever you want. So instead of being stuck in that transition of whatever that personal stuff, that garbage that's going on in your life, and you push through that, you make it an empowering story and you move forward. Those are the kinds of things that I do with people, whether it's my Unstoppable group coaching or if it's my Unstoppable one-on-one private mentoring, is that I help people to achieve things they can't achieve on their own. For whatever reason, we figure it out and we help you move forward so that you're succeeding more. You're getting there faster. You're doing it better. You're enjoying life. I mean, life is great. It's all about money. You have a lot of money. That's a great thing. You have more money. It's even better. But you also need to have the happiness and the sense of purpose and meaning in your life. You need all of that to live a truly extraordinary life, to love this journey that we're on. And that's how I can help you. So if this is something you think you might want to explore, let's jump on a phone call. Click on the link that's on this page or in the description, and let's jump on a phone call. It's a maybe 20-30 minute call. See if this is the kind of thing that aligns with you, if this will help you, and then to see if you're a good fit for one of my coaching programs, so that you can start making more money, start creating the life that you want, have a fit, healthy body, and be the person that you want to be, living the kind of life that you want to live. So go ahead, click the link below. Let's schedule an appointment. Let's chat. See where we go from there. And you don't have to worry, because this isn't some wake up at 4 a.m. and feel like you're going to die before 6 a.m. type of coaching. I'm not that kind of person. But this also isn't some sort of van life coaching where we're listening to dolphin sounds and meditating. Working together, we're going to recalibrate, reprogram your mind so that you are self-motivated, so you have self-discipline, so that you have self-mastery, so that you can go out and achieve the things that you want to achieve. So this is an investment in yourself, not just for now, for achieving this goal or going through this transition, this phase, this season of life, but so that you have a gift that gives back to yourself over and over and over for the rest of your life. So go ahead and click the link if this is something that sounds interesting to you. I'm looking forward to talking with you in person to see how we can take your life to the next level, to help you achieve the things you want to achieve and live the kind of life that you want to live.